Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nerd Collaborative Podcast.
Welcome back to the Nerd Collaborative Podcast.
Hopefully you checked out our pilot episode. We made some adjustments. We heard the feedback about some of our technical difficulties we had to work out. But hopefully this sounds a lot better. And hopefully we're able to make this experience enjoyable for you. We're all here today. We're going to be talking about the top movies of 2007. Not top. Okay, I started that wrong. We're going to be talking about our favorite movies of 2017 so far. We each have picked some of our favorites, and they're not necessarily like top box office grossers or
like Oscar winners.
Right, but just the ones that we enjoyed the most, and that's about it.
They might be familiar to you.
Yeah. So, 2017 was actually a pretty crazy year for movies. A lot came out this year.
And we're only halfway through.
Yeah.
Halfway through the year. There's so many good movies that are still coming out this year.
It's going to be a crazy year.
I mean, just a refresher, like Underworld came out, Triple X came out, Split, Lego Batman, John Wick, Fate of the Furious just came out. Yeah, John Wick 2, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man just there's been a ton already. We're just at the summer, and I know this winter, the fall, we still have a lot more to go, but
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars, Thor.
That trailer.
Apes coming out this week.
This week, yeah. Tomorrow. Today.
Yeah?
Today, yeah.
Well, when they're listening to this, it would have been a couple of days ago.
Right.
For us, it's today.
And then Dunkirk next week, along with Valerian.
Yeah, I don't know. Valerian, we'll see. But yeah, that's coming out.
Yeah, no. I mean, the song, they had like a...
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Certainly.
For sure. I have things to say so far, so...
Sorry about that. My dog Oliver is a bit of an asshole and decided to break something. So I apologize for the interruption, but we're rolling again. So back to it.
Welcome back to the Nerd Collaborative Podcast.
It just got so much more intense.
So let's get into it. So what are some of your guys' favorite movies of the year so far?
Notes.
Clayton, you want to start?
No.
Okay. So my favorite this year were probably...
Is it favorite or...
My favorite.
Let's do one at a time, and we'll...
Oh, okay.
We'll
you don't want to do the list?
Yeah.
Okay. So...
Pick five.
So probably starting off towards the beginning of the year, I really liked Ghost in the Shell. I know that one was heavily debated, especially with Scarlett Johansson playing the Major. But I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it was on my list. It didn't quite make my top five, but I thought they did a great adaptation. And controversies aside, it was really, really well done. Especially getting that anime feel is so hard, especially with such a dynamic, and it's such an influential anime movie to get that right and do as well as they did. I thought it was pretty awesome. The
visuals were and the special effects, like how they combined practical with CGI. They did a really good job.
Oh yeah, did you guys see it in 3D?
No, I didn't see it in 3D.
Did.
I don't usually go to a lot of 3D, but that one just seemed really appropriate for it, and it was awesome. I don't know. I thought it worked really well, and
I wish I would have saw it in 3D now.
The cinematography was amazing.
Yeah, it was just really it was incredible. I mean, those the practical geishas. Phones, please silence your cell
that's yours.
Is it? That's embarrassing.
It's okay.
But the fact that those creepy spider geishas were practical effects was it was mind blowing. Some of the behind the scenes stuff was really cool.
Yeah, tons of it on Tested, that YouTube channel, and I'm Savage.
Yeah, he went to
cool stuff.
the Weta Workshop.
Yeah,
checked it out.
Oh yeah.
So that was one of mine. Do you want to?
Yeah, let's see. Oh, I should probably have my notes out. Well, off top of my head, another one was Beauty and the Beast. I mean,
Oh God!
What, you didn't?
It was so sad.
I don't know why you think it's so sad. I feel like it kind of worked out for everybody. Like,
Annie and I cried
did you?
for like 80% of that movie.
That's
man.
a lot of crying.
And then we
So
cried
sensitive.
for another like half hour after the movie was over.
Wow, you guys are crazy.
I was very in touch with your feelings.
Well, it was amazing how well they were able to retell the classic, retell the original film, add everything in there except for the birds and the snow scene, which was my favorite, and also be able to add depth to the characters in the story with going to the back in time and going more into
Wait, we should just say up front, there might be some potential spoilers
Oh.
for some of the stuff if you haven't seen any of these
some of the
movies.
stuff, but
Beauty and the Beast,
it's been long enough. It's
it's
on
been
you.
a while.
It's on you at this
It's pretty
point.
much-
Also,
the-
Beauty and the Beast was almost a shot-for-shot remake, so
Yeah, I was
none
just
of
gonna
that should
say
really be
that.
surprising. But anyways,
But yeah, I mean, like, I didn't love the animation of Cogsworth and Lumiere. I just didn't love it, but like it didn't take away. And
Yeah.
and the Beast looked great for most of the scenes, and Luke Evans was just a perfect Gaston, who's my boy. And then Josh Gad as LeFou, and
he was perfect for LeFou.
exact, and Emma Watson as Belle. Her lip syncing wasn't great, but she sang everything, which was really impressive, and she did a great job there. So, I just loved it.
I think the only thing for me that was really noticeable for most of that movie was Lumiere. As Ewan McGregor as Lumiere, every time he would talk, all I could hear was Ewan McGregor trying to be French, and it was so noticeable to me. He was okay, but with all the talks, like with Ghost in the Shell, about whitewashing and race swapping and everything, you're doing a voiceover. Just get a French guy who can sing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're Disney. You have connections.
They had to stud that
It's
cast.
not that hard.
Star-studded.
I mean, Ewan McGregor is recognizable. He's a good name. He's a good actor, but
I don't think he's gonna make or break the success of the film.
not at all. And again, it was a really minor thing, and it was still like the only thing that really just kind of was a thorn in my side when we were
I
watching
forgot about the scene when she gets hit in the face by the giant snowball. I forgot that was.
Oh
in
my
the-
God, he nails her in the
I
face.
forgot it was in the animated one.
Yeah.
But that was like so much funnier. in
I don't
real
know if he
life.
knocks her to the ground in the animation though.
I honestly don't remember.
He lays her out. in this.
I laughed.
It's so
hysterically.
good. Yeah.
The other thing that I really liked about the Beauty and the Beast was the new songs, which I think Disney is hit and miss on that when they try to add new music. For me, with the Lion King special edition, they added the Morning Report a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah,
and
no.
that pissed me off.
No.
That song was terrible.
No.
And so their track record for adding songs into their classic stories is not great. And I thought they were fine. Like there were some that were kind of boring, but still they didn't take me out of it.
Yeah, no, you should just chat with my wife about adding songs to Disney movies because she will murder somebody about it. So
These just felt like they had a reason. Like they were adding backstory. They added.
Exactly.
They made me buy into the relationship more than
Right.
previously.
I agree. They were very well done. So that's why it was one of my faves of the year. So, but
Nice.
What do you got?
What's your first one?
I'll just go for it with Get Out. Was,
Oh yeah.
also on my list.
Yeah, that I just left the theater just so satisfied with the horror. Like I wasn't sure because it was like Key or Peele. Is Key right? That directed Jordan Peele. Thank you. That directed it, but it was just like, oh, it's so good.
Well, it's just so original. I mean, people talk about it creating a new genre, the social thrill. I mean, I feel like there's been social horror, social thriller
Yeah. That's,
in the past, but I don't know if it's ever been done with such success, or I should say mainstream success as well. Mm-hmm. And with the original story and the characters and the way there's so much subtle tension that builds up that is, they try to break with humor, but it never really breaks. And so that humor to break the subtle tension almost adds to it.
Yeah.
So it's, and it's so, it blew my mind. Like it was really, really well done.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no.
I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed the acting throughout. I mean, everyone was awesome. From the trailer, I knew I was gonna probably like it, but even I don't know, like everyone who was in that movie, even some of the guests at the party, was just like they played their small parts so well. And
Milton from
Milton was awesome.
I can't think of his real name.
Oh, man. Yeah, cast list for today's podcast.
Well, and I knew, Daniel, the lead actor, my biggest impression of him was from Black Mirror and the episode he did with that just crazy monologue that was just went on and on and on. Like, after hearing him barely speak for most of the episode, and that blew me away. I would be shocked if that didn't play a large part into getting him this role. And so he's a real good actor that's, big time up and comer. I thought he was perfect for that role. And Allison Williams, the way she flipped the switch at that moment, sorry, spoilers, she flipped that switch and just it was just perfect. She just fit right into exactly what was going on.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice to get a horror movie that doesn't just rely on jump scares. It was just a good horror movie.
Kind of did with the soundtrack a little bit, but it wasn't like
that's true.
That was wasn't like the main part of the suspense in the movie or anything like that.
It's not like I liked this movie, but Lights Out was almost entirely jump scares, and a lot of the horror genre is. Yeah. But this one was just like you said, tension.
It was heady.
Yeah.
You just have tension the whole time. Those are my favorite types of, is when you just build and build and build and build, and then it snaps.
And there is one death in particular, if you didn't anticipate deaths in a horror movie, sorry, possible spoiler. There was one in this movie that I seriously almost stood up and clapped, and I think you guys know which one. It involves taxidermy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Loved it. Was like reminded me of Cabin in the Woods. It was just like, yes.
Yeah. Real well done. Mm-hmm. So anyway, moving on, next one for you, Curtis.
Probably my biggest favorite this year was Logan, which again came out earlier this year. But holy shit, that movie was just like, that was amazing.
Floored. Yeah, that's one of my top faves.
As was mine.
That went past being a good comic book movie, and that was just a great movie, like all the way around.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was, you could take superpowers out of it and just be an old badass dude protecting a younger girl, it's just a great story, and added to it was just the everything, the true real life friendship and bond between Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart really showed. I mean, it almost was like a father figure thing, especially if Hugh, that being his big break into acting and everything, and with Patrick Stewart being a veteran, and they've been close ever since. You could really just see that chemistry shine through, and it was just really touching. So yeah.
And I mean, Hugh Jackman's been playing Logan for years, since I was a kid. So it's crazy to see, X-Men 2 was good. X-Men Last Stand was then we got the Origins movies, and so Wolverine's just he's been around, but it wasn't always 100%. And so to see this movie just really take it there.
Well, it's just I think that maybe a podcast for another day, but those movies were a little bit a victim of their time,
Right.
Oh, totally.
Once you got into First Class and after, I think they started realizing hey, we could also make good movies with out of these, and it's not just Vinnie Jones as the Juggernaut. Like, let's do some better things. But no, and did you guys see the audition tapes for Daphne Keane at all?
No.
It's pretty awesome. You guys should all check it out. But she goes into it and like she left bruises on Hugh Jackman.
Oh, really?
As she was doing the interview, like she was hitting so hard, and I guess the story went that she was doing it, and she actually asked if she can improv it in using a different language because English obviously isn't her first language, and so that whole scene in the car where she goes off and that other I think she was speaking Spanish. And she just starts going off, and it's just like, how is she speaking that fast? Like, that was her in the audition. Like, that's how that came about, was she went off and she did that, and like, for different, for an actress that young to have a, the wherewithal to go say, hey, can I improv this and make an impression like that big? I thought she was fantastic.
That's really cool.
And hopefully a big star to come, man. She was pretty great.
Yeah, and Patrick Stewart, I mean, again, I don't want to spoil these movies. You should probably just see them by now.
You know what? We're gonna come up with like a timeline of what's okay to spoil. And I vote this one is long enough to talk about.
It's like, telling inappropriate jokes. There's a certain amount of time where you have to wait.
Too soon?
Yeah, but without ruining anything for you guys, Patrick Stewart just sealed this performance so well. I felt terrible for the guy. It made me sad again. I'm going to sound like the mushy guy in this podcast, and probably forever, honestly. But
I cried a little bit.
This was another crier for sure.
We all cry. It's okay. We're okay with
it.
It
happens to me, and I don't even realize it's happening.
And it was cool that they even, instead of just getting all the usual X-Men in there, they introduced a couple of other people to tell the story. And, instead of getting like Cyclops and Jean Grey and just like all the hard hitter names that they've had in the rest of the series, they branched out.
We previously saw Caliban once, but that was basically it as far as the other one. He was there.
He was there.
But it was very emotional, and it was very much like you said, it's end of an era, which I think added to the emotion.
Yeah. And
just seeing, knowing you're never gonna have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again is just kind of it was a little bit sad, and seeing, sorry, spoiler again, seeing him die, and she changes the cross from it to an X, laying it on its side, like just a fitting end was just, I don't think they could have done it better.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that the same director was the guy who did Walk the Line.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know he
did
the Dewey Cox story.
He did Walk the Line?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Wait. Is not Walk Hard. Walk the Line with Joaquin Phoenix.
Real one.
The Joaquin Phoenix one. You guys are thinking of Walk Hard.
I mean, still though.
Whatever. Same movie. Right?
Wrong kid died.
And Copland. I don't know if you guys ever saw that.
No.
Sylvester Stallone, like,
back in the day,
cop drama, like thriller.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Good.
It's a older Stallone movie.
Yeah, definitely a gem. But it's just kind of like, I don't think he's done any other superhero movies, so
no,
that like definitely brought a different like perspective to the story.
I want to say,
which set it apart from.
I want to say, didn't he? I'd have to look it up, but didn't he do the Wolverine as well? I thought he actually did the Wolverine as well.
Maybe he did. You could be right.
So
a little Googling.
So before Wolverine, he didn't do any.
And let's not count the Wolverine against some studio interference. Probably.
I liked the Wolverine.
Yeah,
honestly.
I thought the Wolverine was good.
Did you?
I did.
I did. I mean, everybody bags on the ending or whatever, but
Will.i.am. did it for you?
No, that's Origins. You're thinking.
Wolverine Origins.
You're
yeah.
you're mixing them up. I'm talking about the Wolverine when he was in Japan.
The one right before this.
With the Silver Samurai, the last one prior to this one.
Do you guys like that one too?
Yes.
Okay. I like that one.
All right.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought it was emotional.
All right. I mean, it wasn't a hard R, slash fest where Hugh Jackman stabs a bunch of gangsters right after he wakes up in his limo.
It probably could have benefited from that.
Yeah.
It was no Fantastic Four.
It was no. Wait, Fantastic Four, Fan Four Stick.
Take your pick, man. You're right. James Mangold, he did direct that Wolverine one too.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
he got another chance and he did it right.
He definitely improved,
right.
but I still like that one too.
So what do we have next?
Who gave that one?
That was me. So you
That's
next.
me. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take my favorite movie of 2017, top favorite, telling everyone to go see it. Love It to Death, soundtrack on blast repeatedly, but it was Baby Driver. Baby Driver was so good.
And I'm out.
Oh, dude, you gotta see that like next Tuesday.
I know. I was hoping I could see it before we did this episode.
Oh, jeez, I thought you had.
I want to do so bad. It just didn't happen.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to tell this without spoilers. I guess it's recent, so
It's okay.
That's fine.
I'm probably gonna go see it again before.
I actually have plans to see it tomorrow with a buddy who hasn't seen it.
Nice.
I love it, but it's it's just top to bottom, great movie. I mean, it's got everything. It's got action, drama, comedy, romance, incredible music. I mean, the music almost plays
kind of a musical.
It feels
In a
like
way.
it feels like a musical, except they're not like actually singing the words, but it's choreographed in a certain way, and the story behind it was from Edgar Wright, and he had the idea when he was making his first feature-length film about a heist set completely to music, and just in almost like a music video in a way, and so that's where it just became this idea that he worked on in his head for 20 years, and it just he got the opportunity after some pretty good successes and
Cornetto trilogy.
Exactly, and now it's just become, this is just a masterpiece. I mean, it's so good. It's just, I can't say enough about it, and the whole cast and everything. Clayton, you saw it. What else did you think?
No, I wasn't sure about what's his name? The guy from
Ansel Elgort.
Ansel
Yeah.
Elgort.
I wasn't like sure about that casting choice, but
he killed it.
He definitely did the role justice. Like he was.
What was he? What was Faulted in Our
Fault in
Stars?
Our
Right?
Stars,
It was
yeah.
his last probably.
And some other like rom teen thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a few of those things. Yeah, no, I was right there with you. I didn't know. I don't think I think he was in the Divergent series as well.
Was he?
Kind of think he was.
Who cares?
Sorry, specifics.
No.
No, but I thought he killed it. I mean, I thought
He did.
I thought
Next to Ryan Gosling. Maybe not that far.
well, I mean, could be. He's definitely a heartthrob. I thought he would have made a really good young Han Solo, which is funny because the sweatshirt he wears kind of looks like Han Solo's vest, and so the whole time I couldn't help but seeing it like I was, But I thought he did phenomenal. I mean, he was that's just him. I mean, he's Baby. Like it was just so good.
B-A-B-Y. B-A-B-Y.
So, what else do you have to add to it, Clayton, on that note?
I don't know. I feel like I need to see it again because, like, I don't know. Like, it was just like such an experience.
There's definitely a lot that you can miss. I mean,
apparently there's like Easter eggs hidden throughout too that Edgar Wright did kind of in there. And...
Friend of the podcast, Edgar Wright.
Well, just because he liked 2 of our tweets doesn't mean he's a friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast, Edgar Wright.
No, there's definitely Easter eggs. Apparently, he's been doing crazy press, so he's literally on Twitter like 24/7 at this point. But he asked on Twitter if there was any anyone caught there was a Hitchcock moment, so people are trying to figure out what that is, and it may be like a reflection of him, or he's in a scene, or that kind of thing. So people are still trying to figure out what that is. So
yeah, it's definitely on my must-see list. When I saw the trailer, I was like, I have to see this, and then it just came out, and then I saw Spider-Man instead.
That's a bad choice.
Even though it came out the week after.
We'll get to Spider-Man later, but
yeah,
still bad choice.
But I'm gonna see it for sure.
Yeah,
and everyone else should.
If you like heist movies and great music and great acting, like just go see it. Like if you like good movies, just go see it.
Yeah, not even a critic opinion. Everything I've heard from everybody has said go see this movie.
I guess the cool thing that I didn't really mention is like how they synced up the songs to the action.
I feel like people should experience what they did. Because I've never seen it before.
Yeah,
apart from maybe a musical.
Like some of it's editing, but they actually planned out they beat for beat while they were filming these syncs to the songs.
Yeah, you gotta. You'll know what we're talking about when you see it. I've never seen it done before, and it was really really cool.
Pretty awesome.
So, Clayton, you're next. What else you
got? Well, I might be on my own a little bit here, but a Netflix movie that really surprised me was I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore.
Yeah, I've heard really, really good things. I still haven't seen it.
You guys need to freaking see that.
I got halfway into it and I fell asleep, and I've been meaning to go back and watch the rest of it. But what I saw was really good.
It's just so goofy, but then it has then it just snaps into this dark tone that you're not even expecting based on what you're seeing. Elijah Wood is in there, and he's freaking hilarious. He's he's just this big dork, but he's trying to help the girl throughout the movie, and it's got heart.
It's hard because I don't want you to spoil it for me.
No, I don't want to spoil it.
Even though we should do spoilers.
It's got a bit of a.
I'm breaking my own rules for selfish reasons.
This episode is just a spoiler sprinkling.
Sorry.
Just be aware.
Bit of a Coen Brothers vibe in some of it.
Okay.
And then the guy from Green Room, he's
not Patrick Stewart.
What the hell was that Netflix movie? Blue Ruin. The main guy in that movie, he wrote and directed this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And he's in Green Room too.
Blue Ruin was so good.
Oh my gosh.
As a revenge thrillers go.
Yeah, it kind of has that vibe too.
Okay.
So
a little weird.
A little weird, a little dark, very just oh shit, kind of thing. But but
almost stuff you're just not expecting.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Which
but
is
somehow
great.
it just makes you laugh and it makes you feel good. After the movie is over, you're just
Macon Blair was the director.
Macon Blair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good job, Clayton. Successful stall.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, but I won't say any more, but you guys need to check it on Netflix, so just check it out at any time.
For free.
Anytime.
For free.
Yeah, that was another one, too, that was... I had seen... I was like, oh, that's a long title. But it totally sticks in your head.
It didn't even fit on the screen.
No.
You're I don't feel at home in this what?
in this...
In this... dot.
What do you got?
Let's see. So...
What do you got, Curtis? I think I know what's coming.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
A little movie directed by Patty Jenkins, starring Gal Gadot.
Gal who?
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming.
I loved Wonder Woman, and it was one I went and saw with my dad. We had a little Father-Son Day, and both of us
didn't invite your mom.
No.
Oh.
She would. I think she would like it, but from the trailer, I don't know if she was interested. She's not really into movies, but
okay.
Mom, we can go see a movie together when you want. But my dad and I, the whole way through this movie, we're just elbowing each other and giving thumbs up and just it was a great time. And again, Logan, just a great movie. I feel as if a lot of these comic book movies get judged as that was a great comic adaptation, and this was, whether or not people have gripes with how it played with the comic books, which I haven't really heard many negatives.
No.
It was just a great movie. Gal Gadot, I think, was born to play this role, ? I thought she was great. I know people have some gripes with her acting in it.
Yeah, I I really,
too
really
bad.
liked the movie. I mean, it was a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I mean, it was a really, really good movie. I'm not here to say it's bad. I did feel like the depth of her emotions weren't always there. I feel like she wasn't all that upset when her. Wait, spoilers again. We're good.
Let's be real. There's gonna be some spoilers in this episode.
when her aunt dies, I feel like she wasn't like I didn't feel her pain. You know what I mean? Like
She didn't really get good of a setup for sure. That was
yeah,
a little
and,
undersold.
and it's not necessary. And maybe it's not. I don't know if it's Gal's fault. I don't know if it's writing. I don't. Whatever it is. But I didn't. There was certain times that I didn't feel that. I felt like the romance was a little bit forced. I didn't love it. But all in all, I mean, like, again, I enjoyed it 100%, and those things didn't take away from the movie. I noticed them, as well as some there was some pretty shoddy CGI in various moments. Not all the way throughout, but some really bad
Some of the
moments.
fight scenes.
Yeah. Love.
Super Lupin.
We'll get to Super Lupin.
Oh my gosh, we're going to do a whole podcast on Super
That's
Lupin.
all I have to say.
Yeah.
I loved Chris Pine, though. I just wanted, like, a prequel of just Steve Trevor movie. I just want a solo Steve
You're
Trevor
probably
movie.
alone in there, but
What?
I thought he was good. I thought he was good, but I don't need a whole movie about him.
Yeah, I wanted a Steve Trevor, Chris Pine spy movie. That's what I want.
Leading up to this point in the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
That would have
for
been
sure.
kind of cool.
I mean, maybe like a half hour on the Blu-ray.
No. Full
movie.
like 3 hours.
30-minute intro to the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Your thoughts on Wonder Woman, Clayton? We haven't heard much from you.
I kind of felt the same way as Josh. I thought it was a good movie. Probably like a 7 out of 10 for me, just because some of the CGI. It wasn't like I guess like the difference between Wonder Woman and Logan is Wonder Woman didn't necessarily have like a different like superhero vibe. Like it was just very similar to other superhero movies, but it was still really well done.
Right. It was.
Whereas-
it's also her first
Right.
on-screen.
Exactly.
It was.
Yeah,
her
so I
first
guess that's
real
kind
adaptation.
of not a fair comparison, but like movie-wise, I'm just like saying,
Right.
like, yeah, but it was entertaining, and I laughed. I cried. No, I didn't cry, but I did laugh, and I thought
actually didn't cry
some of the
either.
action was cool.
Yeah, I
Gal
mean-
Gadot's a really good Wonder Woman.
Again.
That no man's land scene though, where all the
That was actually
all the soldiers kind of
my
down on their
favorite scene
luck,
in the movie. My favorite scene. In the
and
movie.
she's like, "Back off, boys! I got this."
It was a little. I don't know. It was a little.
Haters gonna hate.
Cheese.
It was a little much for me. I don't know. I felt like they were caught between this like uber realism and like hyper heroic thing. Like I feel like they were like caught in between in that scene and a few others where it was just kind of like, well, what are you trying to show, like war amputees, or are you trying to see her be the hero? I mean, like,
I liked the setting, the way they put it into the war.
I don't know.
liked it too.
I feel
Because without any of the amputees and stuff, then you wouldn't be doing the
like,
the war.
Well, I
This
like
is
no,
rich.
I mean, because I liked it. Like I liked that dark realism aspect to it. But when she was up there, it just felt like, okay, really, like this just feels a little. I feel like it drew on a little long. Like,
Oh man, I was leaning forward in my seat.
The slow motion of her going through no man's
There was
land
a lot of
so
slow
good.
motion.
Was a little.
It was a lot of
long.
slow motion.
I'm okay
It
with
was
slow
a little
motion.
Zack Snyder from like 5-6 years ago.
You mean from 300?
Yeah, I guess that was way
almost
longer ago,
Almost
yeah.
exclusively.
Yeah.
Back in high school.
Well, Watchmen's got some
There was,
some
I
slow mo.
think, two scenes of slow mo in Watchmen.
But yeah, and then
Noted.
like you brought up Super Lupin. I think that was my biggest gripe with the whole movie. The only thing that really took me out of it, the rest of the time I was like, just total. I was engaged 100%, and I loved Lupin in his role.
He was
Until
he was a really good trickster Ares.
great bureaucrat, great British guy.
Great hunk.
Yep.
No.
He was yeah. Great love interest. But no, that again, spoiler. His transformation scene when he turned into Ares,
Not only the transformation.
there was a close-up shot on his face when he started putting his armor together, and he had his big old dumb mustache on, and I almost spit my popcorn out. I swear to God, it was so laughable.
I spit it out on the flashback where it shows like him in his godly form from like way back when.
Shirtless.
He's like, he's got like the
oil
the sash
painting.
thing. And he's like looking up, and he's got
No,
these like
it was during
bulging
that fight
muscles.
scene. It wasn't even an oil painting scene. It was like he was talking about his history.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
showed
yeah, yeah.
all the
Yeah.
flashbacks were
Funny
like paintings.
Right. No,
Well,
the style of them.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
was definitely not a painting.
They had a body double.
That was
for
all
sure.
real.
No, see, I mean, the face didn't bug me that much. I definitely agree. I feel like they definitely should have just put his helmet on and like been a closed helmet.
Yeah.
Like 100%. I agree with you on that because I think he was a really good, trickster Ares. Like I felt like they did a pretty poor job of like hiding that twist. Like at no point did I think the general was the actual bad guy.
When did you know that it was him?
When?
Yeah.
I actually didn't call the twist.
Because I didn't either.
No.
See,
I feel
knew it.
dumb. Like,
I knew it as soon as they started putting an emphasis on him. One, so as soon as David,
like when they called him or something.
as soon as David Thewlis was like a recurring big part of the movie, combined with the fact that I forget his name, Houston, I think his last name is, the actor who played the German general. He
was in American Horror Story.
He's been on the X-Men. He's been in a ton of dudes.
Yeah.
Ton of things. He was in Wolverine Origins. Anyway, but
oh God.
we're not going back there. But as soon as he needed like that, like Bane's venom precursor, as soon as he needed that to be strong, I knew like, okay, well, he's not Ares because Ares is a god. He doesn't lose his strength and need that. Combined with the fact that they put such an emphasis on David Thewlis, like, oh, he's this secret ally, like. But if you know anything about Ares, is he does everything behind the scenes. Like he's
not in God of War.
He's a lot.
Nothing is done behind the scenes of God of War.
That's the only Ares thing I know.
No, but he's a trickster. He manipulates men into fighting war because it grows his power, and that's exactly what the story was. So for me, it was pretty obvious. But
see, I was thinking he would be a one and done villain, and then the next movie would have Ares. I thought we would see Ares, but I didn't think
the Bane powers guy
right.
was going to be the main villain.
Right, I thought we would see Ares, but he would come in the next movie, and this guy would be
That's
the villain.
That's kind of what I thought, and I thought it was going to be like, it's not, you can't just kill one guy and then everything's good. Like, and they kind of were. It seemed like it was hinting to that, like it's going to be like that. Just going to be like, it's real life.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. But then after she kills Ares, everyone starts hugging each other.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that was a little.
Oh, what the?
That was a little weird.
They went there.
That was that. I did not. I mean, that just like I get it, but like I just. Didn't.
Well, and that's again why I was saying they just when they were talking about the sequel to Wonder Woman coming out. That's one of the other reasons I want to see it go to World War II, or not necessarily World War II, but not as big of a jump, because going from that point to modern times, I feel like it's going to be like, wait, but what? But those people, but
yeah, no, I feel like
there's just going to be some some questions.
I feel like just putting her into another war would be far too redundant. Like I just feel like you would need something different. You need her to be fighting. Maybe she goes, back to Themyscira and there's a villain invading there. I mean, I'm sure we'll see Cheetah before too long. So to me, I would rather them start picking up and being in the moment, and I think Justice League will we'll get DCEU there. I think that'll catch it up. So for me, I'm not into that, but that's fine. We'll see. I've heard 80s Cold War. I could see that kind of being cool. I also don't see Wonder Woman as much of a spy, so we'll see.
Also, 80s tends to be a little too cheesy of an era for movies. I mean, unless it's done well, which hopefully it will be. Patty Jenkins, I have faith now after the last one. But the 80s just is one of those like Flash generations where there's just like tons of flair and color and
Yeah,
It's huge
just-
right now, though.
just to sell the generation.
Although I feel like if she's in like Cold War era Russia, I don't feel like there's going to be a lot of Flash.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well,
Oh, I did want to say though.
One more. Last
Kristen
comment.
Stewart as the
Oh,
stunt
God.
double
Oh, my
for
God.
Gal Gadot
All right.
Oh my god.
in Wonder Woman.
Moving
was-
along.
Moving on. We don't need to. Jeez, Curtis and this Kristen Stewart. Maybe someday we'll explain it to the audience. Next, my favorite Kristen Stewart movie. Just kidding.
Oh,
She's been in a lot of movies this year. Good for her.
No,
getting a lot of work.
up there is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh,
With-
man.
That's one I haven't seen yet.
What?
What?
I know.
Oh my-
Curtis.
Oh my gosh, there's so many
Curtis.
spoilery things to talk about.
I know. It's okay.
No,
It-
we can't talk about. I refuse to spoil things for people once I know that they. Well,
I
except for
don't.
all of
Except
you.
for all of our listeners.
Except for all of the listeners.
Can't believe Star-Lord died at the end. Like,
Right.
what the heck?
Right.
Like, who's gonna be in the next one?
Yeah. And then Drax is now baby Drax. What's going on?
Yeah, they totally flipped the Groot,
Yeah.
and Groot's
Well-
doing like a Benjamin Button thing now. Like,
Yeah,
what's
what's-
up with that?
I mean, Boss Baby was such a big hit. It's hard to not go that direction with it. So
No,
joking aside.
But the movie was just. It was so just chock full of emotion. Talking about a movie that made me cry. Like, just, a lot of it is so much about Peter's relationship with his father. Obviously, not, there's no spoilers here. We've seen trailers, but Kurt Russell plays Ego, which was just phenomenal to see him, considering he's generally just a big freaking planet. And I thought the way they made his character was incredibly inventive, like really good. Not to mention Kurt Russell was really good, but as somebody who's gone through my own ups and downs with my dad, like that hit home and was really, really just, I don't know. They took it to another level. They took all the things that made the first movie great and just doubled it. I mean, it was, I personally liked it even more than the first one. I thought it was just
I definitely like the
spectacular.
soundtrack a little more than the first one too. Honestly,
a little diversified,
yeah.
a little more, I
I've been
think.
spinning that
Ooga
soundtrack like
chaka,
crazy.
ooga chaka.
That's one of my Spotify go-tos. It's actually
Oh yeah.
it's actually both soundtracks. There's a Spotify
Oh,
list
there you go.
with both soundtracks,
Mix
and
it
it's one of my go-to Spotify's
Good
for
call.
running.
I actually had to improv DJ a wedding one time because the DJ didn't show up, and I put that playlist on and then just let it go while I
Every
picked out
song
some
is
songs.
just like yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's really good. I mean, going back to Baby Driver on Twitter, Edgar Wright and James Gunn were being adorable, telling the story about how I forget which one texted the other, checking to make sure that they weren't using any song overlaps, and so
That's funny.
but they checked artists. They didn't actually list the songs because they both wanted to be surprised about what was in their movies, and so they both had a Barry White song on there, but they didn't know if it was the same one. So they were like, but it was anyway.
They wouldn't say which one?
They didn't want because neither of them wanted to know the songs they used that they actually
That's
used.
funny.
So they just checked off artists to make sure they weren't like doing too much overlap and all that. So it was
great.
It was pretty funny. But yeah, no,
Adorable.
it was it just hit every aspect. I mean, it was just loved it.
Yeah,
Talk
that's
about
definitely on
a
my
good
list.
Sequel.
Yeah,
People.
and that's cool to hear too because comic sequels can be hit and miss. I mean, I feel like they've found their stride now. Marvel,
I don't know.
Marvel especially has found their formula. DC is starting to find
Hang
their
on.
footing.
Hang on, I'm gonna run through this real quick.
Okay.
Captain America #2 was better.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Thor 2 better than the first Thor.
See, I don't remember the second one.
I don't either.
This is with the Dark Elves.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, to me, better than the first one. You could argue that Age of Ultron was better than the first Avengers. Not Iron Man. Iron Man
Oh,
2
God.
was the weakest.
2 and 3 were just.
I like 3. I like the personal level of 3.
Oh, really?
I didn't like Morgan at all.
I liked him being. I liked him having to be. What's the word? Intuitive and do things without his suit. Like,
Well,
I found that.
That's actually I like that you brought that up because that was a big part of Homecoming, and that's really funny that he went through that in Iron Man 3.
Exactly. I mean, it's the
he-
tie-ins. That's why Marvel.
That's really funny.
That's why Marvel's
That's a good point.
really good. We'll get to Homecoming. Don't
Well, also wasn't Tom Holland? Wasn't he in
worry.
I don't
in
think
Civil
he
War.
Iron
was-
Man 3?
He was in Civil War 3.
Civil War
No, Tom Holland confirmed that the kid wearing the Iron Man mask
Right.
in Iron Man 2,
2. Okay.
was
Peter
a
Parker.
young Peter
Oh, right,
Parker,
right, right.
Yeah.
which was a nice little touch.
That's pretty
I mean,
cool.
it's all. I mean, that was fan theory that Marvel just kind
Arby's
of
is
like.
pretty cool. Sorry.
Shout out to Onyx
I don't
Fortuitous.
know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Shout out to Andrew Bowser.
I love your work.
Iron Man's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, so but I love it because Marvel totally embraces fan theories and they're just like, hey, that actually works really well. Let's just steal that and say that was intentional. And because I don't think that was the case. Tom Holland maybe made it real, but
Good for them.
yeah, no, definitely. Marvel,
Good on them.
Marvel just does well. So anyway, without
Kick-Ass 2, I didn't think it was as good as the first one.
No,
oh jeez.
I didn't. I mean, it was cool
Okay.
seeing Jim Carrey
All
in
right,
there.
if
and
you
some
guys
people, but
if you guys are gonna just start trolling here,
no, I mean, I didn't like it as good as the first
I was
one.
just trying to think of...
that was obvious.
I didn't think it was bad, but it wasn't. As
I'm
good
talking
as the
Marvel
first.
movies. I'm talking,
Okay,
I'm talking
okay.
Marvel
Okay.
movies. How about that?
Marvel's got a pretty good track record, though,
Yeah,
so
so-
that's for darn sure.
Anyway, without being able to get into too many spoilers, because Curtis is a slacker, we'll move on to next one. You got another one on there?
I mean, you guys, we all
We
kind
covered.
of, overlapped big time. Get Out, Logan, Baby Driver, I Don't Feel at Home. And then I thought it would be good to segue into the Spider-Man, because that was also on my top 5.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that's a good hey, good segue. You've been doing this podcasting thing well.
It's kind of podcasting.
So, what were your thoughts on Spider-Man there, Clayton?
What is it? What does McGonagall say when they do really good in class, like above expectation?
Exceeds expectations.
Exceeds expectations.
Outstanding.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez, my goodness.
Just think of anything you would write next to a gold star and just go with that.
Exceeds expectations.
That was a decent. That was actually a really good McGonagall.
Hey, were you in Downton Abbey?
I was gonna give you crap for that terrible podcasting segment, and then you went with the incredible McGonagall.
You completely redeemed yourself.
Exactly. There you go. Anyway,
I loved it actually. It was hilarious. Kind of weird that it was like a comedy, but it worked. You know, they had Hannibal Buress in there. They had what's his
What
name?
was it? What?
Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal Burrs?
Hannibal Burrs.
Yeah.
Like I got a burr in my
Yeah.
fur. Okay. Excuse me.
sorry, Hannibal.
It's all right.
Friend of the podcast. Not yet. One day.
Tweet him. And then what's that guy's name from Silicon Valley that plays Guilfoyle?
Oh, Guilfoyle.
I wasn't
Yeah, what-
expecting that guy to be in there.
Oh, man.
I feel like just like little, they threw people in like to kind of give it more of a lighter vibe.
Yeah.
And it worked. It wasn't like too overly obvious. Like they didn't ham it up or anything. They just played their characters. But since they were those comedic.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job making a. I mean, it was really a high school drama comedy, which, too much high school drama like it takes away from it. But I feel like they did a pretty good job, like a very solid B+ job of not making it too high school drama campy stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and so. It took away, for me, it did take away a little bit from the rest of the story, but for the most part, like, it didn't bug me, and they chose a direction, and they went with it, and they did a good job, and that's all you can ask for, like, whatever you choose to do, just do it well.
Yeah.
So
One of the best Marvel MCU villains, I would say. Just because...
Well, he was my... I think Michael Keaton's Vulture was my favorite part of the movie.
Oh, he was so good.
Yeah.
Because normally it's just like, he's a bad guy, rawr. Like, you don't really get, the tie-in like they had with Vulture.
Yeah.
I won't give too much.
This is super...
It was pretty recent. We should try to
avoid it.
Okay, we'll talk basics, and then like halfway through we
Sounds
can.
good.
We'll give you a spoiler warning. We'll talk about the rest.
Yeah.
So from here on out, there's going to be spoilers. So if you,
Oh my god.
it was really good, and you should definitely go see it. Great performances all around.
I did think that they played a little too much.
If this is a Kristen Stewart joke, just
No. I did think that they played a little bit too much into Peter Parker needs to work on his stick. I know they were going for an already established Spider-Man film, not an origin story, but I think they had too much of him struggling for me to really buy into that he's been Spider-Man for it seemed like he just got the powers yesterday.
I agree. I think there was a bit of that. I mean, I feel like there was just an overall lack of confidence that doesn't really sit well with me for Peter Parker character, because he may be nerdy and a dork and all that, but he still has confidence. At least that's how I've always seen Peter, and I felt like he was a little bit not confident, which kind of bugged me. But I agree. Even when he's in the spider suit, I understood the learning the special powers that the suit he got from Tony had.
I loved the suit.
The suit was awesome.
Jennifer Connelly was the voice of the suit, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
She was.
Yeah, but
As Karen.
which is
Karen.
such a great name. I love that he named it Karen.
And then, her husband, wasn't he Jarvis? Her husband...
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany. I think they're married in
Vision.
real life. Yeah.
Oh, are they? So
Yeah.
they're both
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
virtual assistants
Yeah,
now?
Paul Bettany's not a virtual assistant. He's actually one of the most powerful Avengers around.
Yeah,
so
I can ask Siri if you want.
it's Vision.
No, I mean I can ask Siri who's the most powerful. I'm just saying.
Go for it. I'm curious to see what she says.
That's all right. We'll ask you later.
No.
We'll tweet her response.
Fine, whatever. Anyway, it was really, really well done. Not perfect, but it was amazing to see him in the MCU with everything that meant. References to the Chitauri and the alien tech and all this. It was phenomenal. So,
It was different, which is all that I ask in comic movies now. Like, if you're gonna make a new movie about a character we've had before, make it different.
Right.
Which I thought they did a great job with. And
Yeah,
I really appreciated that.
I'd agree. It was very, very good.
I know my wife has full-on superhero fatigue now from a lot of these movies and how frequently they come out, and she loved this one.
Good. Well, I think I'd say there's a lot more differences than you'd think between the two, or the rest of the movies. But that's another. It's a combination.
I don't know what you're talking about now.
That's a conversation. Andy
Tom
and I can
Holland,
have.
Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield.
We're not going there. We're not going
So
there.
full disclosure, there is some discrepancy among the Nerd Collaborative as to favorite actors portraying Spider-Man, and we're gonna try to avoid that discussion this time because it could fill a whole podcast. So now you know.
Fuck Tobey Maguire. Anyway, so this is the point where we're going to ask anyone who doesn't want the movie to be spoiled to kindly leave, so we can talk about the kind of the big reveal, the big twist, which I thought was really cool. Things that you don't want to mix. So
Go see Spider-Man Homecoming.
Go see Spider-Man Homecoming.
Go see all these movies.
Really do. But the rest of the podcast will probably be about this.
Very carefully.
Sorry.
Are you trying to soundboard?
I was testing it out.
Thank you, Arnold, for joining the podcast. We're gonna talk now, so you just listen.
Hey, honey, how are you?
I'm doing great, but we're podcasting. Can you please go back in the kitchen?
How are you doing, old buddy?
Good. I'm doing good. Stop it.
First, I would like to just get to know you.
We're married.
This may sound strange, but I'm looking for someone that lived here a long time ago.
Okay, let's put down the Arnold soundboard.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, not bad.
I feel like we could add him to the podcast and just like tag him as if he was in it.
Special guest.
All right, so turn off now if you don't want to hear any spoilers.
Thank you for listening. Tweet at us at NerdCollab. Join us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook.
Yeah, do it
All
all.
that stuff.
Going to talk to you about something very important.
Chill out.
Dickwad.
Okay, so
That was
anyway,
unnecessary.
but the fact that
This is the movie.
the fact that Michael Keaton turned out to be Parker's love interest's dad
Oh man.
was it. I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming either.
No, when as soon as he opened the door, I was like,
I did not know that. Did you know that?
No, but it added a whole nother level to him that he wasn't just a guy. He was trying to provide for his family. He wasn't just a guy trying to make a bunch of money and be evil. He did bad things, but he was doing it for his family and protect his family, and it added just a personal touch and the unspoken understanding that they had in the car ride.
oh god, that car ride,
It
the
was
silence
intense.
was just like
So good.
cut it with the tension.
My brother went and saw the movie at the Blue Oaks Theater, and he said during the scene when Michael Keaton's talking to Peter Parker in the back when the girl gets out of the car, some lady was going into labor, like right when that scene started happening.
In the movie theater?
In the movie theater, and some lady got up and announced, "Oh, this, she's going into labor. Please, open the aisle and let her get out." Like, I was like,
Did he get a
"Oh,
refund?
No,
I
don't
would
think
have
so.
gone and
But,
gotten a refund.
Like one of the most intense
Well, I
scenes in the
mean,
movie. Like,
That's not really.
I think that's absolutely like get a refundable.
I don't know. I would have been.
Maybe go ask the projectionist to rewind it a couple of minutes.
No, I would have asked the front office, say, "Hey, somebody went to labor and it completely ruined our movie. Can
Completely
we
ruined
get
it."
a couple passes?"
Yeah.
Also, I hope her baby's doing well. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also maybe this will be a lesson to you to not go to the movies when you're almost due.
You can still go to the movies.
No, not when
Why
you're
would you do that?
not when you're that close. Just stop it.
No.
Anyway. So, but the
Fun story.
yeah, good story, Clayton and Ashton. Actually, I don't
Thanks,
know which
Ashton.
one of you is here. So,
Uh,
but that was a huge part of it. I mean, you think about any of the best superhero movies. I think it truly comes down to a good villain. I think,
Oh, totally.
I think because without that villain, you don't have a good opposition to your character, and so your character has to be either super interesting or the story's super interesting.
Yeah, there's no stakes.
Right. So I think if you didn't have a great actor like Michael Keaton and a great twist and stuff, I think this movie would have been kind of subpar. I feel like he completed it. I feel like it could have easily flipped my entire feelings of the movie.
yeah.
So
And I think the villain type of like, the rich men and the government and the higher ups, they put their foot on our heads and they keep us down, and why can't we get a piece? Why can't reason like that? That's been done, but they actually when they showed Liz and when they tied in his family, like it actually made that pay off.
he had a
instead of-
reason.
Right. They showed the reason instead of just him saying,
Well-
"I'm doing this for my family." Like
Well-
you actually found out. Yeah. You
Well,
saw
and-
his family and you saw how he was providing.
Well, and the fact that it was not only that, but it was he also was like, "You saved my daughter's life, so we're good."
Doesn't he say,
Let
"I
this
just saved
go."
your life"?
Essentially, yeah. He
Yeah.
says, "I saved your life by not shooting you with a gun
Oh,
or whatever."
yeah.
Outside of your
I was
homecoming.
a little
Outside of your
confused
homecoming.
by that. I was like,
Yeah, because he didn't kill him in the
gonna
car
cap
outside of
him
his
right
homecoming.
there?
Yeah.
But
No
but
silencer, nothing. Jesus.
Brap, brap.
but I thought that was really cool that like that you could tell he understood more than that. There was a bigger picture after Spider-Man saved his life and he figured out who it was, and then there's that respect. And then later when, Spider-Man saves him from the plane crash, like that was also you could tell in the post-credit scene when he's talking to Gargan, who that dude looked like a perfect Gargan.
In the prison.
The fact that he wouldn't give up his identity really showed that, like, you know, he's got some respect and he's got a moral compass, even though it's a little off kilter. So,
I thought his friend was awesome too.
Ned.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ned was great. I could not get over Flash.
Oh.
It bugged me so much. I mean, Peter was literally a bigger dude than the dude who played Flash, is kind of a big jock. Like, I feel like, I mean, I get that maybe you're trying to change it up, but like,
Well, they were instead of making him like a physical opponent, they were trying to make him an intellectual, but they didn't even do that.
But Peter was smarter than him. So it's not like
There was no competition. He was just annoying.
yeah, he was just like an annoying bully who didn't earn it, and like it was. I mean, maybe because he was rich, like that was the only thing he had on him.
That's
I
Batman's
guess.
superpower, according to.
But like so that just kind of it just bugged me. I didn't like that. I didn't like that character. I mean, the kid did a fine job, playing what was put in front of him. I just think it was I think they should have gone in a different direction. I think he should have had something clearly, above him other than popularity. Like, that's the only thing he had on him.
It's different than changing, casting ScarJo as the Major. The Full Metal Alchemist movie, some people have issues with how the German main characters are going to be played by Asians. It goes either way, but race, to me, doesn't really matter. But like you're saying, they changed the entire character. He's no longer even if they had, a different race instead of like a white blonde jock.
Yeah.
It wasn't even an imposing jock bully. He was just a nothing, annoying
who was
kid.
Literally shorter than tiny Tom Holland. Like, it was just... Like, there was just nothing. Like he couldn't physically intimidate him. He couldn't... Like, there's just nothing. Like, it just kind of bugged me as far... and that's me being too picky about comic roles. But, like, I mean, if you think about it, Flash Thompson becomes Agent Venom. Like, could you see that kid becoming Agent Venom? Like...
Could you see his friend being the Hobgoblin?
That definitely wasn't Harry Osborn.
I know.
So...
Well, I mean, if they're changing one thing up, may as well just
Okay, and speaking of changes, I loved Zendaya, and when they first dropped the MJ, I liked her
that
personality.
reveal though.
Yeah, that quote unquote reveal.
Oh.
I liked her personality. I liked that it was different than all the Mary Janes we've had. Again, that's what I'm looking for in comic movies now.
But I actually felt like some of her personality was it was more of a modernized MJ. MJ was always kind of this activist character who was tough and all that, and I feel like she didn't care about any opinions or anything, and she was, so I feel like it was more of a modernizing of MJ. But it wasn't MJ. Even though she said that my friends call me MJ, like it wasn't. It was.
Why would you do that?
Just so either make her MJ or
don't give her the initials.
Don't
of
give her
MJ.
the initials.
There's so many letters in the alphabet to choose from.
She could be a great other character. Like, I really, really liked her performance. But like, if you're gonna try, like, you're trying to, I don't know. I feel like it got some backlash and. Sorry, Amy Pascal, but like I feel like she just kind of backtracked and was like, "Well, it's not Mary Jane Watson. Sorry, guys."
Wrong, MJ.
Wrong.
Anyway, so
almost like The Dark Knight Rises when they're like Robin, like use your legal name Robin or whatever. It's like
yeah.
Huh?
I mean, that was fine. I don't know. It was the end of the whole series, so it didn't.
Yeah, why did it
bug me? That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, that was another one where I was like, "Ooh, we're getting a Robin movie." Nope.
No.
They just wanted to say Robin.
Nolan didn't even want to make The Dark Knight Rises, so
You could tell.
So the only other thing that I really had issues with Spider-Man: Homecoming was a lot of the Avengers tie-in. Tony Stark definitely laid away from the plot a lot more than I thought he was going to.
Yeah, I was definitely a little worried in that
Especially that last fight, I was like, please don't let Iron Man come in and fix this. Let Spider-Man do this fight.
Well, he did it without the suit, which was, I thought, really cool.
Yeah, but there was just a lot of like, hey, did you know the Avengers exist? Huh?
Well,
Huh? Did you know?
Well, I think one thing about Spider-Man Peter Parker in going back to comic stuff is he's always in and out of the Avengers. So that's actually pretty true. It didn't bug me. And ultimately, he was given an opportunity in the comics and turned it down, just like he did in the movie. So that was pretty cool, where they tie that in that personality of always kind of being in it, kind of not, which I think is was actually a cool parallel to the deal between Sony and Marvel Studios as well. It's this parallel of them kind of in, kind of not. So I thought that was actually handled really interestingly and really well. I'm guessing probably Kevin Feige's idea, but
What'd you guys think of the fights?
Let's get some fights.
I thought unfortunately the trailer kind of ruined a lot. Like,
Did you guys watch all the promotional stuff?
I watched the
they were
first one, and
putting
then
out?
after that, I
good
avoided
amount.
it all.
I definitely closed my eyes and my ears
Yeah.
in a couple trailers in the movie theaters because I felt like it was just way too spoilery.
they were giving it
stuff.
a lot away.
Yeah,
And every fight that's in the movie is in the trailers.
And on YouTube, they were putting out 4-minute clips of different parts of the
Yeah,
movie
too
and
much,
stuff. I
too
was like,
much.
why? So, well, I guess Sony would be the perpetrator
Yes,
there because they were involved
that's
in all the marketing.
typical Sony.
Well, and that's how that clip got on the PlayStation Store. That first
and
hand.
that was
handheld
part of the
camera.
movie.
Yeah, I
in the movie. Just let it be.
I thought that was a promotion, and then
Yeah,
it was in the
too.
movie. And I was
It
like,
should just be part of the movie. I don't know. Sony's got a lot to work on in that aspect, definitely. But
Sony, please add crossplay.
no, I don't know. I thought some of the fights were also a little choppy, especially the plane scene. I felt like it was hard. Your brain puts it together as to what's happening, but if you're actually just watching it, it's almost a little. It's choppy.
It was
I don't
almost
know
like
how else to
watching it.
describe it.
It was almost like watching a Transformers movie, where it was like, I know a fight's happening, but I can't tell
It's
who
like-
just got hit with
It's
what
like
or
these
why.
Transformers are way too big for the screen.
Yeah.
I like the fights. I don't know.
They
I
were
didn't have
they were
that same
cool, but
problem.
I just all of a sudden they broke a plane engine, and I was like, wait, what?
Right. The same
How?
one that fell on Donnie Darko is.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I thought of that when I was watching the movie. I was like, hey,
Fan
you could just
theory.
see a YouTube clip of someone smashing those sections of scene together
You might be able to find it
will.
on the Nerd Collaborative YouTube channel even.
on the digital release of Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I mean, not yet. Not yet. It'll be there eventually.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, I think that's a pretty good list of.
Yeah, I mean the only other
Movies this
two
year,
honorable mentions for me are three: John Wick 2, Logan, or Lego Batman, and Split.
Yeah, Split was another one that was big on my list. I really, really liked that.
M. Night Shyamalan hasn't really been on his game the last couple years. I liked The Visit. I liked Split.
It's debatable.
And, before that it was kind of wishy-washy for a while.
Another, since we're going through honorable mentions for me, I loved It Comes at Night.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Did you guys ever get to see that?
yeah, I saw it.
I didn't see it.
Curtis didn't like it. Wasn't his cup of tea. That's fine. It is a tension building. I'd say slow burn, but it's not the slowest. There's definitely slower burns. Things are actually happening. It's not quite a Ty West film, but it's heavy. It's not happy. There's not a tight little bow on it, which I know sat wrong with some people, but I thought the performances, the cinematography, the dread was just. I thought it was really, really well done.
I think the thing with It Comes at Night, and same with The Witch, and there's a few other movies in that genre, is they need to not be billed as a horror, and they have their own subgenre now that they just need to be marketed differently. They're billed as a horror, and they're not. They're uncomfortable, and they're sad, and they're awful for what the people go through, but it's not a horror.
I mean, I think it's. I think I could make a definite argument against that, but I feel like that goes into another topic.
Yeah,
that
we
plan
can save
on,
that.
Plan on covering is expectations of
Oh, totally.
between trailers and what those mean.
Yeah, that might.
To me that is still horror to me. I mean if you think about classic horror, even the classic like Halloween stuff, how much is it just you don't know where Michael Myers is and you're waiting for him to show up? Like a little bit different, but a lot of it I think it's still considered horror. I think that tension still counts in the horror genre, but that's just my thoughts. Anyway, I loved it. Curtis didn't.
It was all right.
But get your own opinion.
Yeah.
So that's all. That's what we.
If you liked The Witch, you'll like It Comes at Night. And I forget there was
I
another
love
one that
The
we
Witch.
compared it
that's
to.
fair.
OMG.
You liked it?
The Witch. I didn't see it come
The
tonight, but-
Vivitch.
I think you'll like
The
it.
Witch?
Clayton, I think you will like it. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so check some of these out. Hopefully you took some notes on some things that you want to go see. Hope you enjoyed this talk we
Was
had.
it intentional to have the Spider-Man backdrop next to us today?
Well, I have a Star Wars blanket, a Spider-Man blanket, and a Batman blanket. I may have chosen that one to put right next to the table.
Strategically placed Spider-Man blanket.
Cool. So that's it for you guys?
Yeah.
That's all you want to talk about anything
Edge
else?
of 17. That's
Edge of
my
17?
honorable mention.
Oh, okay.
Hilarious movie, but I don't have a lot to say about it. Since did you guys even see that movie?
No.
No.
Is that on
Alright.
Netflix?
No, I had red boxed it,
Oh, okay.
but it was like
Who's in that one? Or is that a small...
Woody Harrelson and
Oh,
Haley
okay.
Steinfeld.
It's Haley Steinfeld. It's kind of a coming-of-age teen drama, drom-com.
Maybe a little overlooked. Came out earlier this year.
No, it
I
looked
feel like it came out last year.
it looked
but
really good.
Definitely came out earlier this year.
Yeah,
It
so
was quite entertaining.
a little different than the rest of the movies we talked about, but
Yeah.
it's still good.
I mean, none of these were as good as The Return of Xander Cage. Let's just be real.
Oh yeah. And Underworld Blood Wars.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what Kristen Stewart has the rest of the year.
On that note, you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thanks
Yeah,
for listening, y'all.
Thanks for listening. It's our second podcast. Hopefully you were able to hear the pilot, and hopefully you're able to hear that we're making an effort to make changes. We hear your feedback, so please tweet at us, comment on our Facebook, let us know what you think. We appreciate the constructive criticism so we can make this better. We're going to try to keep doing it. I think every 2 weeks is our goal. It's every other week. And we're working on getting our Apple Podcast syndication and Stitcher and Google Play, all that stuff.
Make it easier for you to find.
Yeah, we're having some Squarespace difficulties in their engineering department, but hopefully that'll get fixed. So, yeah, this is coming out on Monday, so enjoy your week, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Party.